Hi, I'm Jay with My Tennessee Home Solution, and today I'm going to talk to you about retirement, what you need to do to prepare to retire, as well as some myths that people believe, and we want to kind of set the record straight. So, if you especially are in the state of Tennessee and you're thinking about retiring, you're thinking, I need to downsize, sell my house fast in Nashville, or say you live in Clarksville, need to downsize quickly, sell your house fast in Clarksville, there's certain things you need to consider. So I'm going to talk about 4 myths that a lot of people believe about retirement and downsizing. So myth number 1 is that selling house is extremely profitable. Sometimes it can be, but oftentimes if you're trying to sell through an agent, the all of the updates required, all the things they're going to ask you to fix, make the flooring really pretty, the paint, update the kitchen, stuff can cost tens of thousands of dollars, so much time, and then you have to pay commissions on top of all that to the agents if you sell through a real estate agent. So that can really add up to a lot of stress, time, and hassle and money. And at the end of the day, you'll end up with less profit than you originally thought, and that can be really difficult. So number 2, the number 2 myth is that a smaller place equals less expenses. Oftentimes this can be true, but not always. And one of the reasons is interest rates are higher today than they were in the past. So at least over the past few years, they're still historically low. But if you were paying a mortgage and refinanced or got a new mortgage within the last 3 years, you're probably paying around 3% interest. Whereas today, mortgage rates are almost 6%. So that's a significant increase in monthly costs. As well as if you move into a condo or apartment complex that has high HOA fees because you're getting older and you want less yard maintenance and all those things, well, HOA fees can kind of be expensive, so that's something you need to really look into. And taxes can be higher depending on where you move, and a lot of times people are paying fairly low taxes for what their house is actually worth if they've been living there for a long time, if the government assessment hasn't been updated in a long time. But if you buy a new house, even if you downsized, it might assess for more than what your previous house assessed for, just because it's a new purchase, and you'll actually be paying more in taxes despite it being a smaller, actually less expensive house. Number 3 myth is that selling through an agent is the easiest. That is absolutely not true. Selling through an agent has a whole list of difficulties and challenges, and one of them being that it can take a really long time because the buyers you're dealing with through these agents oftentimes have a difficult time getting financing. If they're trying to get a FHA loan or a VA loan, there's this whole list of requirements that you're going to have to meet, that if the house has any little thing wrong with it, you're going to have to fix, and it can really be a long, drawn-out process versus selling to an all-cash buyer just as is. You don't have anything to worry about. In that situation, it's very quick, far easier than selling through an agent. And myth number 4, that it can be wise when you're downsizing to hold on to a lot of your possessions in storage. This is often not the case. It can kind of depend on what you have, and everyone's situation is different. But many people hold on to a lot of their old things, mostly because of sentimental value, or maybe they paid a lot of money for them, so they feel like they can't let go of them. So they keep them in storage units for years and years without ever actually using it or doing anything with it. Many times, the amount you pay in storage fees over these many years is far more than the actual value of the contents in the storage units. So I highly recommend when you're downsizing that you don't get a storage unit for long term. If you have to get something briefly while moving, that can make sense. But holding on to things just because you got them from your great grandfather, or you paid a lot of money for it, or maybe it used to be in style, or whatever the reason, it's best to just let a lot of these things go and only bring with you what you can fit in your new home, and yeah, live a simpler, more minimalist lifestyle, and you'll save so much money in the long run. So for more ways to save money and make this whole process of downsizing a lot easier, you can work with a trusted company like My Tennessee Home Solution, and we will set you up for success. Have a good one.